Hari 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 Vipale Janama Hari Hari Vipale Janama Hari Hari Vipale Janama Manusha Janama Radha Radha Hari Hari Vipale Janama Bolo ke Bolo ke Bolo ke Quererta Rasina Janmi Quererta Hari Hari Vipale Janama Ara Deva Hari Hare Janama Hina hina jagayila, hari jabe uthari, harasha ke jagay matha. Naro sama, tuma bine ke aase hari hari, hari hari, hari hari, ke pale, jano ma hari. Adhava mamavadi Yadava Krishna Yadukula Krishna Adhava mamavadi Yadava Krishna Yadukula Krishna Sadhujana 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 Madhava 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 Hare Krishna. Ambujalo Lojana Ambujalo Lojana Kambo Shubha Diva Ambujalo Lojana Kambo Shubha Bimbadhara Chandra Bimbadhara Chandra Bimbadhara Chandra Krishna Krishna Shamena Sagra Shamena Lagnas Sharada Chandra Janita Sharada Chandra Janita Matana Krishna Madhava Navadeva Yadava Krishna Yadukula Krishna Yadava Krishna Yadukula Krishna Yadava Krishna Yadukula Krishna Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaran Prakara Sadmasu Karma Viksha Tapi Tapi
ఉన్నాడా? చేయి. సరే. ఆ, ఆ, ఏంది? వెళ్ళిపోవడే కదా, ఉండట్లేదు నైట్. ఓకే. ఏమన్నా వచ్చి क्या हुआ? नहीं चले जाए उसके बाद हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji Janardana. We'll start Mataji.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
మీరు మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నాడు. మీ అబ్బాయి ఎట్లా ఉన్నాడు?
బాగున్నాడు ప్రభుజీ, పర్వాలేదు.
Yes, Mataji, you can start Mangalasharana prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapatakamalам Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sagana Ragnata Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukhaṁ karoti vācālaṁ pangum langhayate girimet kripātamaham vande. Shri Gurum Dīnatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyam Ishwaram. Om Pavitra Pavitro Va Sarva Vasangato Viva. Yasmare Kundari Kaksham Sabhyabhyam Taram Suji. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. We are reading from Light of the Bhagavata, written by Srila Prabhupada. Let me show. Yes, we are at 21st theme. So let us continue reading in this 21st theme. Mata, you want to read? Lakshmi Mata,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji.
yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Shall I start, Prabhuji?
Yes, please read.
The wind carries the clouds to different parts of the globe. and the clouds distribute rains to the satisfaction of the people in general. Just as rich kings and the merchants distribute their accumulated wealth inspired by religious faith. He has already explained the four divisions of society, namely the intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, the ruling class, the Kshatriyas, the mercantile class, the Vaishyas, and the laboring class, the Shudras, are meant to achieve one goal in life, self-realization or cultivation of the human spirit. The intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, are to inspire the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas in performing sacrifices for the spiritual cultivation, and thus the cooperation of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas uplifts the people in general or the ordinary laboring class of men. As soon as this cooperation between the four classes of men in society stops and the basic principles of spiritual culture are neglected, the social structure of humanity becomes a second edition of animal life, based on the propensities of eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. It is the duty of the intelligent man to influence the members of the richer communities, the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, to sacrifice for spiritual culture. Only in this way can the tension between the capitalists and the laborers be well mitigated. In this age of Kali, when a slight difference of opinion leads to quarrel, even to the extent of riots, it is the duty of the intelligent man, the Brahmanas, to selflessly inspire the richer people to sacrifice for this purpose. It is suggested herewith that the men of the intelligent class should not themselves try to become Kshatriyas or Vaishyas, nor should they engage themselves in the occupations of the various other classes. Rather, the Brahmana should simply guide them in spiritual cultivation, just as the wind carries the clouds to other places to pour water. The wind itself doesn't take up the responsibility of pouring water. The most intelligent men in society are the saints and sages who have sacrificed everything for the service of spiritual culture. Their duty is to travel throughout human society and inspire its members to engage themselves in acts of spiritual culture by sacrificing their works, money, intelligence, and life. That should be the theme of human life in order to make it a complete success. A society with no taste for spiritual culture is is a blazing fire, and everyone in that fire perpetually suffers the threefold miseries. As clouds pour water on a blazing fire in the forest and thus extinguish it, the intelligent men who work as the spiritual masters of society pour water on the blazing fire of miseries by disseminating spiritual knowledge and inspiring the richer section of the society to help in the cause. Temples of worship, for example, are constructed by the rich, and these temples are meant to impart spiritual education to people in general. The periodic spiritual ceremonies are held for inspiration and not for exploitation. If there are flaws now because of the age of Kali, they should be rectified, but the institution must be saved.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hmm.
Appreciate it. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. Thank you, Swapna Mataji, for joining. Haribol. Yes. So we are reading this 21 theme. The wind carries the clouds to different parts of the globe, and the clouds distribute rains to the satisfaction of the people in general, just as rich kings and merchants distribute their accumulated wealth inspired by religious priests. So Prabhupada quotes that there are social orders: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Repeatedly writes these purpose, like Brahmanas, intelligent class of men, teachers or preachers who understand Vedic knowledge and distribute this knowledge uh, to the people, so that people get educated and nicely proper their dharma, conduct their dharma. And then ruling class, Kshatriyas, rulers, administrators, and Vaishyas are mercantile class or business are farmers. And the labor classes, Sudras. So Chaturvarnyam Maya system, that verse spoken by Krishna to Arjuna, like Chaturvarnyam Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagasa. According to one's own quality and work, these varnas are created. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. We see that. So if we see in this like currently, if we see in the world, so these four classes of category people only, a broader perspective, some are teachers, some are rulers, some are business, having business, and some are who work for this, all the three categories. So what is the purpose? Is to, in performing sacrifice for spiritual cultivation, thus, samsiddhir haritoshanam, actually. It has to leads to understand Krishna and please Krishna. Whatever situated, a person can be situated in any varna, but he has to perform, understand the spiritual knowledge, perform devotional life and perform devotional service and understand spiritual knowledge. The intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, are to inspire the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas in performing sacrifices for spiritual cultivation, and there is a cooperation of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas uplifts the people in general. The ordinary laboring class of men, as soon as this cooperation between the four classes of men in society stops and basic principles of spiritual culture are neglected, the social structure of humanity becomes second edition of animal life. Second edition of animal life. As long as cooperating with these all these four varnas, that's why we see, right, people are how materialistic way, animalistic way of life they are living. So the social structure of humanity becomes a second edition of animal life unless cooperate each other's varnashrama, dharma, or unless one follows dharma, it's not, there is a problem, animalistic way of life. Based on the propensities of, what are the four propensities? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. It is a duty of intelligence. This is the highest. That's where Brahmana is situated top. Because intelligent men, they know each and everything of the knowledge, perfect knowledge. Influence the members of richer communities, the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, to sacrifice for spiritual purposes. Only in this way can the tension between capitalist and laborers be mitigated. That time, Prabhupada time, Russia, yes, in the capitalism and different isms there. But unless, one cooperate each other in differently situated in different varnas or social order, the collaboration, right? Collaboration, we say, right? Normal communication, need to cooperate, collaborate, and serve. That's the thing. In this way, in this age of Kali, when a slight of difference of opinion leads to quarrel, even to the extent of riots, it is the duty of intelligent Brahmanas selflessly inspire the richer people to sacrifice. That is the duty. Preacher's duty is to give proper knowledge. This is one example. The Brahmanas should simply guide them in spiritual cultivation, just as the wind carries the clouds to other places to pour water. The wind itself does not take up the responsibility for pouring water. See, in a body, if we take an example of in a body, actually this is there. Yesterday we were reading. Are you able to see, Hare Krishna? We were reading in the morning only, in the morning calls. We are reading, Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, first chapter. Virata Swarupa of Supreme Lord, how he looks. What are the different parts of the body of Virat Rupa, what it represents. So this one, if you see, arms are Kshatriyas, face. If we take an example of our body, the face represents Brahmanas, arms represents Kshatriyas, thighs represents Vaishyas, feet represent Shudras. So, all the parts of the body is essential in order to function the body, right? All parts of the body is essential. Face is necessary, arms are necessary, thighs are necessary, feet are necessary to function the bodily needs or bodily activities. Similarly, in a proper society, all these varnashrama has to properly situated. One has to help each other, cooperate each other, collaborate each other. That's the thing. Most intelligent men in society are the saints and sages who have sacrificed everything for the service of. That's why sacrifice that they're completely surrendered. Because Brahmanas, begging for their food because they won't work. They are well situated in the knowledge, and they are helping people. They are going to help the people of other ashramas, other varnas, because with their in the kingdom also, mantri, right? Mantri, ministry is a Brahmana. Under the ministry's instruction, the king will rule the country. The most intelligent men in society are the saints and sages who have sacrificed everything in service of spiritual culture. Their duty is to travel throughout the human society and inspire its members to engage themselves in acts of spiritual culture. In acts of spiritual culture, by sacrificing their words, money, intelligence, and life. So everything they surrendered, they had everything. That should be the theme of human life in order to make it a complete success. Tan, man, pran, dhan, right? We say tan, man, pran, and dhan. Tan, our body, man, our mind, tan, man, pran, the whole existence, tan, man, pran, dhan, whatever we have accumulated money, using in Krishna's service. That's what it is. That should be the theme of human life in order to make it a complete success. A society with no taste for spiritual culture is a blazing fire, and everyone in that fire perpetually suffers the threefold miseries: Adhyatmika, Adibhaudika, Adidaivika. As clouds pour water on a blazing fire in a forest, and thus extinguish it, the intelligent men who work as a spiritual masters of society pour water on the blazing fire of miseries by disseminating spiritual knowledge. That is a very beautiful example, right? How forest fire is going to uh, dissipate or cool down, because only with the clouds, only with the rain, it is going to stop. We cannot stop in forest fire. By nature, it's automatically, by rains only it will be stopped. So that's the thing. Similarly, the intelligent class of men, Brahmanas, responsibility to distribute this knowledge, just like pouring the water of the blazing fire of materialistic way of life. That's the thing. Intelligent men, forest and just extinguish it. The intelligent men who work as spiritual masters of society pour water on the blazing fire of miseries by disseminating spiritual knowledge and inspiring the richer section of the society to help in that cause. Temples of worship, for example, are constructed by the rich, and these temples are meant for impart spiritual education to people in general. The periodic spiritual ceremonies are held for inspiration and not for exploitation. If there are flaws now, because of the age of Kali, they should be rectified, or the institution must be saved. So we have to understand that the centers, our ISKCON center especially, the spiritual education centers. We are giving knowledge properly, nicely, and interesting way to understand all the spiritual concepts. Preaching. ISKCON is meant for preaching, not for only temple worship or anything. Primary duty is to preach, learn, apply it, contemplate it, apply it in our lives, and distribute, share it with others. Right? International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This society having a close to 800 to 900 centers all over the world. So each center, if at all we get an opportunity, for example, wherever we go, we connect with the devotees. We get that knowledge, we get the association, we get the friendship, we get the wonderful prasadam, Krishna prasadam. That way, we have to always, the association of the devotees, get well acquainted with the spiritual education, knowledge, and then understand it. And with that knowledge, serve Supreme Lord. With that knowledge, serve Supreme Lord. Let us continue 22nd the theme. Thank you so much, Mataji. Swapna Mataji, can you please read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes. 22nd verse.
After the complete rainy season, the forest of
Vrindavana.
Vrindavana was full of fruits like dates and the blackberries, ripening on the trees and bushes. Lord Sri Krishna, along with his elder son, brother Sri Baladeva, and other cowherd boys of the vicinity, entered the beautiful forest accompanied by the cows to display transcendental pastimes with his eternal friends. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears with his personal entourage once in 4 million, uh,
4 billion,
4
320.
billion 320 million years and displays his transcendental paraphernalia just to attract the conditioned souls of the material world. The materially engaged living entities seek spiritual happiness here in a form perverted by materialistic attachment. Empiric philosophers with a poor fund of knowledge imagine a spiritual picture that is impersonal, but the spiritual living being, less attracted by the impersonal form of spiritual emancipation, becomes more attractive by the material form and becomes hopeless of spiritual emancipation. Therefore, therefore, the absolute personality of Godhead, out of his limitless and causeless mercy, descends from the spiritual kingdom and displays his personal pastimes at Vrindavana, the replica of Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky. Vrindavana is the most sacred place within this cosmic universe, and the people seeking to achieve spiritual emancipation by entering the kingdom of God may take a home at Vrindavana and become serious students of the six Goswamis who were instructed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The six Goswamis were headed by the Srila Rupa Goswami, who was followed by Srila Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha, Sri Jiva Goswami, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. They were all seriously engaged in the research and excavation of the mystery of the Vrindavana of Dhamma. Vrindavana Dhamma. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, appeared at Vrindavana about 5,000 years ago, and relics of his appearance at Vrindavana were lost from view. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is very same Lord Sri Krishna, in the form of great devotee, appeared at Navadipa, a district in West Bengal, and excavated the holy places of Lord Sri Krishna transcendental pastimes. He instructed and he instructed the above mentioned six Goswamis to compose authorized literature on the cult of Vrindavana. And any serious student anxious to know about the Supreme Lord may take advantage of his invaluable literature about the Supreme Lord, may take advantage of this invaluable literature and the guidance of authorized scholars, and thus know about the Lord of Vrindavana, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead.
Sure. Thank you so much,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you, thank you. So the six Goswamis have given the wonderful literatures about the pastimes between Radha and Krishna and other gopis, Lalitha Sakhi, Vishaka Sakhi, and very wonderfully given. They are the exemplified Vaishnava acharyas, mendicants. They were very materialistically, they were very well situated in the kingdom of what is this? Kasi, kingdom of Kasi. Um, during that time, 500 to 560 years back around, when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared at that time. So this is what it is, Uh, the six Goswamis were headed by Sri Rupa Goswami, was followed by Sri Sanatana, Bhatta Raghunatha, Sri Jiva, Gopala Bhatta, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. They were all seriously engaged in research and excavation of the mystery of Vrindavana. So there are six Goswami temples there. They excavated, Krishna's personal pastimes in these temples. very personal pastimes in these temples. One second, Mataji, just I'm speaking with one mom. आरती करेंगे, मेरा कि कॉल अनदर 15 मिनट्स में कॉल करके उधर आऊंगा, आके आरत करेंगे, बाद में आप भगवद गीता पढ़ो, आप थोड़ा बैठ के आप गायत्री करो, थोड़ा क्लीन करो उधर. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So 6 Goswamis were headed by Sri Rupa Goswami, who was followed by Sri Sanatana. This song is there. Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunada, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunada. Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunada, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunada. So 6 Goswamis, they were all seriously engaged in research and excavation of the mystery of Vrindavan. So whenever we visit, whenever we do yatra for Vrindavan, we go to all the 6 Goswamis temples: Radha Damodara, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Ramana, and other 2 temples. There are 6 Goswami temples there. So they are all excavated. The secrecy, the mystery of Vrindavan is given to us. Very intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna and his gopis. So that is ultimate. We are practicing ultimate devotional life. No, yeah. When we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are nicely situated in spiritual platform and executing these responsibilities of spiritual responsibilities, along with social, along with the professional, along with the family. Right. So Prabhupada writes, starts with example with this. After the complete rainy season, the forest of Vrindavan was full of fruits like dates and blackberries ripening on the trees and the bushes. Lord Sri Krishna, along with his elder brother Sri Baldeva and other cowherd boys of the vicinity, entered the beautiful forest, accompanied by the cows, to display transcendental pastimes with his eternal friends. So Krishna appeared 4,320,000 years back and displays its transcendental parameter just to attract the conditioned souls. See, no other incarnation, no other pastime attracts only Krishna's pastimes are attractive. In his childhood activities, pastimes, in his youth activities, his interactions with the Pandavas, in his role in Mahabharata. So if we see, so many things to learn from Krishna's personality, Supreme Personality of God and personality and his activities. That's why it's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. We say, right? Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. That is a meditation. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. Starts with Nama, no? Starts with Nama. Then Rupa is form, Nama, Rupa. Then Guna is qualities. And then Lila is pastimes. To attract us, to save us. Although material world is only a shadow of the spiritual world, the materially engaged living entity seeks spiritual happiness here in a form perverted by materialistic attachment. We are experiencing in a different place the real happiness. Actually, real happiness in spiritual world, but we are finding that material happiness is real happiness and material happiness is permanent happiness. But that is not the right. Material happiness is flickering happiness. It is going to change after a moment, right? That's the thing. Therefore, the absolute personality of God, out of his limitless, causeless mercy, descends from the spiritual kingdom, displays his personal pastimes in Vrindavana, the replica of Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual state. Vrindavana is the most sacred place within the cosmic universe. And people seeking to achieve spiritual emancipation by entering kingdom of God make a home. Vrindavan, right? Vrindavan consciousness. See, ISKCON devotees, as we follow, we are trying to get the Vrindavan consciousness. The happiness in spiritual life, the happiness in the process of bhakti, the happiness in chanting the holy names of God, the happiness in reading and hearing about the Supreme Lord. In a Guru Parampara system, right? We are rightly situated and properly situated. Lord Sri Krishna, Supreme Personality appeared, Godhead appeared in Vrindavana 5,000 years ago. And Vrindavana was lost from view. because of the influence of Kali. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the very same Lord Sri Krishna in the form of a great devotee, appeared at Navadvipa, in a district in West Bengal, excavated a holy places of Lord Sri Krishna constantly pastimes. He instructed the above mentioned 6 Goswamis to compose authorized literature on the culture of Vrindavana. Any serious student anxious to know about the Supreme Lord may take advantage of this invaluable literature and the guidance of the authorized scholars, and thus know about the Lord of Vrindavana, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. So his instruction, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his disciples, 6 Goswamis are his disciples, to excavate and write literature on the Vrindavan pastimes, intimate relationship with Radha and Krishna and Gopis. Highest form of relation. What is the highest form of relation? What is that rasa? What is that melo? Madhurya rasa, right? It's a different levels of connection with Krishna, right? Shanta rasa, dasya rasa, sakya rasa, vatsalya rasa, and madhurya rasa. Madhurya rasa is the topmost. So these Vaishnava acharyas giving the topmost madhurya rasa in their scriptures. So many scriptures actually, Rujiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they have written vast ocean of spiritual knowledge. And that's an intimate relationship with Radha and Madhurya Bhava. If we read, we will develop the same taste and love for Krishna. So we'll read this one. Let me see. 22. Yeah, 22 we'll read and we can conclude, Mataji. Okay, na? 22, 23, I think. You only read it. Hare Krishna Mataji. 22, 23, we can read and close the call, okay? Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 and 23 you read. Then let me put some points and we can wrap up. Yeah. These are the various themes. This painting done by one Chinese devotee. She has read the Prabhupada commentaries. During Prabhupada's time, he didn't print out this book in his Bhaktivedanta book trust. After his departure, his disciples printed this book, and that time these paintings were not ready. This Mataji, the Chinese Mataji, Madame Yong Chengli, I think. So she has come up with these paintings based on Prabhupada commentaries. That's why we see these paintings. It's very deep meaning. Sometimes we won't be able to understand, Sometimes,
Oh, that's why it is given 1984, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, that time.
I was thinking why the book name is like that. I didn't know about this.
Yes. But somehow she put it on nicely, Krishna, nice, very nice. Some nature pictures, very good. You can read, you can go ahead.
Okay, Prabhuji. After the complete rainy season, the forest of Vrindavana was full of fruits like dates and blackberries, ripening on the trees and bushes. Lord Sri Krishna, along with his elder brother Sri Baladeva and other cowherd boys of the vicinity, entered the beautiful forest, accompanied by the cows, to display transcendental pastimes with his eternal friends.
This one. Yes. Now let us continue. 23rd. We can stop. 23rd, you can read what way? This one.
Yes, Prabhu. The cow.
Yeah, the cows.
1 second, Prabhu.
Now you can read.
The cows that followed the Lord within the forest moved slowly because of their heavy milk-laden udders. But when the Lord called them by their specific names, they at once became alert, and as they hastened towards him, their milk bags overflowed and poured milk on the ground because of the affection of the Lord.
Hariva. Let me see. The cows that followed the Lord within the universe, within the forest, moved slowly because of their heavy milk-laden udders. But when the Lord called them by their specific names, they at once became alert. So Krishna knows all their names. And Krishna call all the unlimited names of these cows. And he then remembers, oh, Krishna is calling. But when the Lord called them by their specific name, they at once became alert. And as they hastened toward to him, their milk bags overflowed and poured milk on the ground because of affection for the Lord. Yeah, because of affection for the Lord. That's where the beauty of the painting, see, milk wood udders, right? You are seeing, right, Mother? This picture. As soon as Krishna calls, they are in a very happy condition. You are able to see?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So nice, no? Yes. You can read this one, Mother.
Yes, Prabhuji. It is understood from scriptures like the Brahma Samhita that in the spiritual abode of the Lord, the houses are made of touchstone and the trees are all desired trees. There, the Lord is accustomed to tending thousands and thousands of Kamadhenus, cows able to supply unlimited quantities of milk. And all the houses, trees, and the cows are qualitatively non different from the Lord. The Lord and his paraphernalia in the spiritual abode are all one and the same in quality, although there are differences for the pleasure of the Lord. In the material world also, we have various paraphernalia for our pleasures in life. But because all this paraphernalia is made of matter, it is all destructible at the end. In the spiritual sky, there are the very same varieties of pleasure, but they are all meant for the Lord. There, the Lord alone is the supreme enjoyer and beneficiary, and all others are enjoyed by the Lord. The Lord is served there by all kinds of servitors, and both the master and the servitor are the same quality, of the same quality. This spiritual vagatedness is displayed by the Lord when he descends at Vrindavana. And we may know that the Lord descends with his personal staff of cows, cowhead boys, and cowhead maidens, all of whom are but spiritual expansions of the Lord himself for his own pleasures. Thus we called the Lord, the cows were overwhelmed by joyous affection. Just as the mother's breast overflows with milk when the child cries for it. All of us living beings are differentiated expansions of the Lord, but our affection for the Lord is submerged within us, artificially covered by the material quality of ignorance. Spiritual culture is meant to revive this natural affection of the living being for the Lord. The ingredients of fire are already present in the safety matches, and only mild friction is needed to ignite a fire. Similarly, our natural affection for the Lord has to be revived by a little culture. Specifically, we have to receive the messages of the Lord with a purified heart. For spiritual realization, one has to purify the heart and knows things in their true perspective. As soon as one does this, the flow of one's natural affection begins to glide towards the Lord. And within the progress of this flow, one becomes more and more self realized in various relations with the Lord. The Lord is the center of all the affection of all the living beings, all where Hare Krishna, who are all his parts and parcels. When the flow of natural affection for the Lord is clogged by desires to intimate his lordship, one is said to be in Maya or illusion. Maya has no substantial existence, but as long as its hallucinations go on, their reactions are felt. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, displays the reality of the life so that our hallucinations may be completely dissipated. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Superly. Super. Very nicely written, Mr. Prabhupada. As always, so nice. Yeah, let me read and see something. It is understood from scripture like the Brahma Samhita that in the spiritual abode of the Lord, the houses are made of touchstone. This is one verse actually I forgot. Brahma Samhita prayer. And the trees are all desired trees. Kalpataru based. Vancha Kalpataru based, Krupa Sindari. Kalpataru trees, desired trees. The Lord is accustomed to tending thousands and thousands of Kamadhenas. Cows able to supply unlimited quantities of milk. Surabhi cows. And all the houses, trees, cows are qualitatively non-different from the Lord. The Lord and his paraphernalia in the spiritual abode are all one and the same in quality, although there are differences for the pleasure of the Lord. So, actually, this material world also beautiful, one sense, because this is the place we have to understand Krishna and go back to God. Yeah, there is one place needs to be there, no? How can we go back home? That place is material world. So here, Prabhupada writes here, material world. In the material world also, we have various paraphernalia for our pleasures in life. But because all this paraphernalia is made up of matter, it is all destructible at the end. Because as long as we are getting this material body, all the pleasures, all the connections with the material body is going to end by end of the body at death. But because all this paraphernalia is made up of matter, it is all destructible at the end. In the spiritual sky, there are the very same varieties of pleasure, but they are all meant for the Lord. There, the Lord alone is the supreme enjoyer and the beneficiary, and all others are enjoyed by the Lord. The Lord is served there by all kinds of servitors. Both the master and the servitors are of the same quality. This spiritual variegatedness is displayed by the Lord when he descends to Vrindavana. See, 5 kinds of primary relationships. These are the services. Krishna is the master, always. The Lord is served there by all kinds of servitors. All kinds of servitors means Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. And both the master and servitors of the same quality. We are qualitatively same qualities. Like soul is Sachidananda Vigraha. Supreme Personality of Godhead, the super soul's quality also Sachidananda Vigraha. Same qualities. Always blissful and knowledgeable. This spiritual variegatedness is displayed by the Lord when he descends to Vrindavana. So that's variegatedness. We see, right? So many pastimes in Vrindavana. Childish acts of Krishna. Supreme Personality of Godhead is experiencing the love between his devotees. And we may know that the Lord descends with his personal staff of cows, cowherd boys, and cowherd maidens, all of whom are but spiritual expressions of the Lord himself for his own pleasures. So everything is created by his own pleasure. Spiritual world and material world also. Right? Thus, when called by the Lord, the cows, the cows were overwhelmed by joyous affection, just as a mother's breast overflows with milk when the child cries for it. Because when Krishna's name, each cow's name Krishna knows, and Krishna uttered the name with the loving affection, the devotion to Krishna, water directly comes from there, udders. From the cows, udders, and mothers also. When child cries, mother overpours with love, in the form of milk. Pours love with in the form of milk to the child. All of us living in this is very important. All of us living beings are differentiated expansions of the Lord, but our affection for the Lord is submerged within us, artificially covered by the material quality of ignorance. Spiritual culture is meant to revive this natural affection of the living being for the Lord. The ingredients of fire are already present in safety matches. The only mild friction is needed to ignite the fire. Similarly, our natural affection for the Lord has to be revived by a little culture. Specifically, we have to receive the messages of the Lord with a purified heart. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Gabunai Shravanadi Suni Chaivas Paraye Udai. So Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, there's a layer. Prabhupada writes an example, right? The ingredients of fire are already present. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema already present in our heart. But how can we ignite? by Shravanadi Sunichaiva, hearing and chanting. That way, our original consciousness will be established. Pure consciousness, purifying. Prabhupada is purify our existence. For spiritual realization, one has to purify the heart and know things in their true perspective. As soon as one does this, the flow of one's natural affection begins to glide down to the Lord. And with the progress of this flow, one becomes more and more self-realized in various relationships with the Lord. The Lord is the center of all affection of all living beings, who are all his parts and parcels. Actually, why he is created? He wants enjoyment. He is not an inactive person or some light or something like that. He may be light, he may be nirakara, but he is a sagunakara. He has a form. He has his own enjoyment. That's why this material world and spiritual world is created. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Mamai Vamsha. Amsha means we are all part and parcel of Amsha. Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All are eternal beings meant for my enjoyment. Whether materialistic way they are enjoying, situated, and I put them into sufferings. As devotees, they are trying to serve me always, remembering me always. Both enjoyments, both worlds are created for Krishna's enjoyment. That's it. And with the progress of this flow, one becomes more and more self-realized in various relations with the Lord. The Lord is the center of all affection of all living beings, who are all his part and parcel of Krishna. When the flow of natural affection for the Lord is clogged by desires to intimate his lordship, one is said to be Maya. That's where lording it over material nature, mastership, proprietorship, enjoymentorship. Without Krishna, that is a problem. I wanted to enjoy like Krishna. We will never, every time we say, right? Why we are suffering? We just want to enjoy like Krishna. That's why we are suffering. We never ever become satisfied in this material world. Or we get any satisfaction? Even though billions of dollars worth money a person having, still he has a problem. Night he won't be able to sleep because of so many things to take care, so much internal things going on. He takes the he or she, whoever, billionaires, pills to get the sleep artificially. Yeah, that's the thing. Because of the desires, clogged by desires to imitate his lordship, one is said to be in Maya or illusion. Maya has no substantial existence, but as long as hallucinations going on, their reactions are felt. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, displays the reality of life so that our hallucinations may be completely dissipated. How can be dissipated these hallucinations? Unless Krishna is going to show mercy upon us, we won't be able to move forward. So we have to beg for his mercy. Beg for his mercy. Every time. Every time. Unless he shows mercy to us, we won't be able to get in touch with devotees. We won't be able to practice devotion life. His service, his mercy is always needed. In order to invoke his mercy, we have to put some effort. We have to put some endeavor. We have to show our some interest, show our love towards him. Then he will show mercy. How can we show? Unless we step one forward to Krishna, how can he take us further steps? That's the thing. So Krishna is always, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Karuna Sindhu. Karuna Sindhu, ocean of mercy. Ocean of mercy. And he is forgiver. Life after life, life after life, life after life. He is always forgiving us and giving a chance every time. Every time means again, depending upon the material nature, laws, we get these bodies. If we desire for, in this life, for example, if we desire for Krishna, and if I don't want to suffering anymore, and desire for Krishna, I want keeping a desire of going back to it in this very lifetime, keeping that target. Yeah, Krishna definitely arranges all the things in align with going back to it. We just have to show our sincerity. We just have to show our some seriousness. And my Guru Maharaj says that Sincerity, seriousness, without any ulterior motive. We don't need any ulterior motive. We just have to serve. That's it. What if we have ulterior motive? Any materialistic things we want? That is again, selfish. We want to have, that is a kind of business. But pure devotional life is talks about unflinching, undeviated devotional service, uninterrupted, unmotivated, devotional service. That's their real. That's their our love for Krishna. We have to show that way. Uninterrupted, unmotivated. That is the dharma. That is the highest actually. Krishna is going to see. He has given this body. Why don't he don't care? Why don't he taken care of us? Definitely taken care of us. If we show some sincerity and seriousness towards him, definitely he has taken care of us. Big elephants. How are they getting? Prabhupada writes this. Big elephant. They eat so much fast food. How much they are getting? Krishna is providing, na? That's right. We have to utilize our time properly in the service of Krishna. Wonderful, actually, this one. 23. I liked it very much while reading you, Mataji. The cows that followed the Lord within the forest moved slowly because of their heavy milk-laden udders. But when the Lord called them by their specific names, they at once became alert. And as they hastened toward him, their milk bags overflowed and poured milk on the ground because of affection for the Lord. We just have to show our affection towards Lord by regularly hearing and chanting. With this, let us conclude. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, Swapna Mataji. At least you joined. Before that, Lakshmi Mata joined. Thank you for spending for these themes reading. Some devotees are traveling, and some devotees they have some personal work. I personally pinged 1-to-1 also. It's okay. If nobody joins, let us read. Whoever joins. If nobody joins, I can read myself. Super Soul is watching. Super Soul is seeing what I am doing, right? Super Soul is going to happy if I am doing this activity. Everybody, Krishna situated in everyone's heart as a Super Soul. And when we read, he is always with us. Yeah, they are reading. They are understanding about me. They are trying to divert their consciousness towards me. That is very good. That is there that Krishna is going to show his mercy, bestows his mercy. Thank you so much again, Mother, for your time. Have a happy Krishna conscious weekend. We'll connect on Monday. Okay? Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Yes, Mataji. Okay? మీ పాపని జాయిన్ కమ్మండి ఎప్పుడైనా whenever she has some time. Okay?
Sure, Prabhuji. Today she got her results. She got 77% in her 10th grade.
77. Are bol. Enough. We don't need 100 by 100. No. It's okay.
She's here, Prabhuji. You can talk to her.
Acha.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Come on video once.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Congratulations, Yashika Mataji. How are you?
Fine, Prabhuji.
So what you are going to do after 10th?
Prabhuji, I'm taking BPC, Prabhuji.
BPC?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You want to become doctor?
Not yet confirmed, Prabhuji. Sure, don't know.
Yeah, not only doctor, there are many professions in the medical industry, medical field. Yeah, very nice. Congratulations again. Chant nicely. Now you are grown up, 10th class, right? Now intermediate, no? Intermediate, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Intermediate. So chant nicely, just like your mother is practicing devotional life. Chant, sit with
Yes.
her, do 2-3 rounds with her, help her, and listen to
Yes.
her. Listen to her for your good
Yes,
only. Na?
Prabhuji.
She is your
Yes.
mother. She
Yes,
always
Prabhuji.
shows affection towards you. So nicely do that. And whenever you get a chance, spend time in this call, 5 to 10 minutes. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Reading Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Again, all the very best in your intermediate education. And
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna's mercy with you.
Hare
Okay.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुदेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटि वैष्णवेभ्यो श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रील गुरुदेव की जय जय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। Thank you very much.